All right, welcome to EDCI 318 Ed Tech. I'm Dr. Elner, your teacher, professor extraordinaire for this course, and so glad that you could be here. And I appreciate you coming on this Monday night. Hope everybody had a great first day of classes. If you are actually, if you're taking something a bit on campus, what a great day to go to campus. Like this, I don't know if you could have had a much better day to start school. I'm not sure we've ever had that nice of a day to start school. So just welcome. Glad you're all here. I'm glad you're in the class. I'm glad you're in the program. I'm glad you're in the College of Education. I love teachers and people that want to be teachers. I think it's the single best job you could ever do. I was telling a class today, I don't think there's another job that you can get the kind of instant gratification for yourself and make the biggest impact that we do as teachers. So, take that to heart, be serious about it, and, never apologize for doing this. Never feel bad about it. So, you guys are here and changing lives, so I appreciate that. And so I'm here as a teacher and want to do that with you. Want to make an impact, want to be positive, and on a one credit online class with like 150 students, I'm going to give it everything I can to be that for you all. And it's sometimes difficult. Some of you are just going to run through this class, you're going to do the assignments, going to move on, and I get it. And some of you are going to run through this class and not do the assignments, and I'll be chasing you down, and I get that too. But whatever you do, I hope you get a few things out of this class. I know this can be a very, if you're looking at your stuff on the beginning of the week and you have all these courses in the one, and I know, I understand the situation of this course, right? So I teach a bunch of other courses, teach face to face, I teach other online courses, and I understand how this like a one credit class that can kind of get lost. And so I'm gonna really challenge you to try to keep this course, like just keep up with it. And it's not something that is going to it's not going to be the hardest thing you've ever done in your life. And I say this in a sense like everything's project based. There's not going to be tests. So you'll be able to do it and you'll be able to redo things if you don't think it's right or if we have mistakes. But I want you to try to do your best possible work in here, just as you would expect any teacher or any kid to do when you're a teacher. So real quick, a little bit about me, where I am in this college and how I am here. My main kind of position in the college is that I run the PE and health program. I'm in charge of that. Um, so I've been doing that for a long time. We have a great program. Love, I know there's some kids in here that are in our program. Then I teach ed technology this course, which is that was great because I get to touch or see, be around every student that comes through the College of Education takes this course. I also teach the coaching classes and I teach health and movement. Um, and that's an elementary education course. I also, excuse me, I am also the director or specialist, whatever you want to call it, supervisor for Go React, which is our distance supervision technology, which you will all use. You'll use it in this class a couple times, and you'll actually use it quite a bit as you get forward into your teaching practicums and teaching student teaching experiences. That's our distance supervision platform where we are able to keep videos and make comments about when we watch you. So you're able to watch yourself and make comments on the video. So really cool thing. So get to put my hands in lots of little, pieces of the college, which I love because I get to see so many people. Um, I was an elementary physical education teacher for about 10 years. Taught up in Omaha, Nebraska for a while my wife was in dental school. When she graduated there, we moved to Manhattan. She's from Manhattan. So we moved back here so she could go into practice with her dad. That was it was 24 years ago. We moved in 2001. So we've been here quite a while. I taught when I moved here, we taught out at Geary County on Fort Riley. So I taught on at Ware Elementary on post, which was a great experience. Huge school at the time. It was about 850 students when I was there. We had 4 to 5 classes per grade and huge classes, 30 some kids in each class. It was quite the experience, but it was fun as a PE teacher. So, and then my wife and I, we have 3 children, Marcus, Macy, and Miles. Marcus and Macy, we adopted, they were born in Guatemala. They came home in 2004 and 2007. And so I was still teaching during that time, coaching. I've coached pretty much everything. And so when we were getting ready to adopt our third child, we decided that I'd be a stay-at-home dad. And so I did that for about 7 years. Loved it. It's the best thing I've ever done, except for this job I currently have. but it might be better than this job because I just hang out with my kids all the time. And so I loved it, but started going back to school when my kids got well, they went to school and wound up having no idea how I went. I went through a master's program, thought I would just do that just to do something. And next thing you know, I was getting a doctorate. And K-State started their PE program up at that time and worked out. Lots of things fell into place, and here I am running the program. So it's great. But I love that I'm able to kind of use some different things. I'm not just doing just PE, but I do this as well. Like I said, I have a real passion for teachers. I have a passion for doing it the right way. It's really, as I saw in the last class, really easy to be a bad teacher. You can probably do it, not get fired, just kind of go through the motions. It's really hard to be a good teacher, but it's well worth it. And honestly, the kids that you teach deserve it, just like you deserve me to give you everything. Those kids deserve, you to give them everything. So let's talk kind of a little bit about this class. Ed technology, obviously technology's here. We're all using it. Please don't write into any of your stuff that, well, I'm just not going to use technology in my class. That's how I'll deal with it. Because you're clearly using technology right now, and you will have to use technology in grading and there's going to be a billion ways that you have to use technology, whether you like it or not. So don't tell me, well, I don't use technology because I'm a music teacher. We don't use technology in music. Well, sure you do. Music's been using technology forever. I mean, if you ever think of like using a speaker or microphones or anything like that. So, lots of different things. Technology interacts in our world. But saying that you will definitely be using technology is one thing about this class. I almost want you to take away is to use technology less. And I say this is why I say that. I think we use a lot of technology nowadays just to use technology. I would think technology, when you use it in the classroom or gym or wherever you're part of education, should be intentional. There should be a purpose. You should not use technology unless it makes the lesson or activity better. If you're going to do an activity or you're going to teach a lesson, and whatever technology you're using to teach that lesson is not making the lesson better, you're wasting your time. An example. How many of you have sat through PowerPoint after PowerPoint of the teacher just reading the PowerPoint? It's boring. Like, why didn't they just give you that and you could have read it if that's what they were going to do? So, like using a PowerPoint, that can be very effective if it's done right. But if you're just going to use it as a way to read, then it's not improving the lesson. Another example is when they first started giving out iPads to kids in schools. My kids were really little, started giving out iPads. And I remember asking, like, oh, so what were we going to do? What are you guys doing with them? Well, all they were doing was playing math video games. Some of you may have played those little math video games. Like, how did that make anything better? That really wasn't improving anything. So when we use technology, we want it to be intentional. We want it to be something that's going to enhance it. And so hopefully through some of the stuff we do here is we can find ways to use technology in a positive way, again, that increases the effectiveness, whatever it may be, of that individual lesson. We're not just doing it to do it because that's what people think we should do. Does that make sense? I hope so, a little bit. Oh, by the way, don't let me forget to give you the passcode for tonight. So it just happened in the last class. I told the class at the beginning, I said, hey, make sure I give you the passcode. And if I forget, somebody tell me. And right as I was wrapping up, they're like, hey, don't forget. And I said, don't let me forget. Okay. Because you're going to need that at the end of this. I'll give it a little later on. I'll try to sprinkle it in somewhere. What I want to do now, and if you have any questions, any comments, just feel free to throw it into the chat or just say, hey, I have a question. I'm good with that too. Now I'm going to share my screen and we are now should be on the home page of that. Can you guys, a couple people shake their head if they see the home page? Okay. So every week, this is like the homepage. It's kind of the blog, kind of the intro of the course here. So this has just information about the week. So week one, again, the 16 weeks, kind of how to get started. It'll tell you, maybe there's the assignments in there. And then these are our orientation, kind of the course format, a little bit of a checklist. I went a little bit crazy on all this stuff. Um, so that coming here at the beginning, I will try to update the course homepage and the module by Friday, by every Friday. So for the next week. So come this Friday, you'll have next week's course module and the homepage available to you. It won't happen every week. Something's going to happen in my life, and then I'm going to be like, oh, I forgot. Um, so this is where the meat of the course is. It's in our modules, and I've worked really hard over time. I think this is effective. If for some reason you're struggling with this, just reach out to me and I can help you with it, or we can work together on it. Um, I'll go over our course information in a second, but if you kind of take a look down, you can see how this works. You have a start here page, and then you have assignments. Now that's from last year. I'll put the different video in once I get this recorded. But then you see here, start here page. Then I'd put a video right there. Then we have a go like the assignment, and then we have the resources. It kind of goes down the whole thing. Start here, assignment, resources. You see it. Start here, assignment, resources. Typically one assignment a week. And what I will try to do, we start off like assignments each week, kind of like heavy at the beginning. Not, and when I say heavy, I just mean consistent. And then towards the end, when I know you're getting a little bit more stressed out with your other courses, right? More work's coming in, it's getting more, you're getting your schedules are getting more full. We will start backing off. Like maybe you have 2 weeks to do an assignment. Maybe we have a catch up week here and there. We have 1 week where there's extra credit, those kind of things. So let's go through the course information. Lots of information in here. Let's start off with the syllabus. Big thing here. Well, this is me, and then these are my GTAs, and they will, especially Elmar here, is pretty much in charge of doing, along with me, the grading. So Elmar helps me grade with these things, courses. He knows how we grade, all of those things. So throughout the time, you might see that he graded your work. If you have any questions, you can let me or him know. You can respond to him in comments as well, not just me, or you can email him. Our office is up in Bluemont Hall. So if you're on campus and you ever want to stop by, or if you have any questions, I'm on the fourth floor. And then this is my email. Easiest way to get a hold of me. I will get back to you as soon as possible. Typically, I'll get back to you within a few hours. Sometimes it might be 24 hours. If it ever gets to 48 hours, please reach out and say, hey, I sent you that email. I probably just missed it somehow. Kind of a course description. It's our syllabus here, course goals, assignments, our grading scale, pretty basic. Now, let's take a look at this. Focus in on this. Late work policy. The number one problem in this class always is late work. Like always. In some points, like people will literally fail this course. Like that's the only way. I'm going to tell you right now, the only way you fail this course is by not doing your work or consistently turning things in late, right? So you have a due time or due date and time. Sorry, for every assignment is typically, and you will know this. It is Thursday night. This week's a little different. First week, Thursday night at 11:59 is when assignments are due. And if you have any replies, like if I require you to have like a reply and discussion, those are due on Sunday at 11:59 at night. So you already know Thursday 11:59, Sunday 11:59. If you are late, let's say you turn the assignment in Friday, automatically you will lose 10% the first day. And you will lose 10% each day up until 40%. So if an assignment's worth 8 or 20 points, you will lose up to 8 points. Okay. And then the best you could do in that assignment would be a 60%, which is passing, but not great. Okay. Here. Yeah, I will get to that here in a second. So that's how this works. And so we will typically try to grade by the following Wednesday. But so let's say you have an assignment due on Thursday. Friday morning, when I get up, okay, and this is to help you, not to do anything else like try to be mean, this is not meant to be mean. This is meant to help you out. I will send you a message. Hey, to anybody who has not submitted an assignment, hey, just let you know that that assignment was due last night. Please submit it as soon as possible. Because maybe you just forgot about it, right? You have a bunch of other classes going on. This is a one credit class. You turn in, you lose 2 points. You're not at the end of the world. It's not the end of the world, right? We're doing okay. Now, Amelia, I'll get to you in 1 second. Um, now, nothing is absolute in my world because I know things happen and I know there's issues come up. So as long as you communicate with me, we're going to be okay. Now, if your communication is constantly, hey, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this, that might become a problem. So, Amelia, what was your question?
I was gonna ask, like, even if we have prior communication, like, hey, I'm gonna be like not able to
Absolutely.
turn this assignment in, like, does the late work still count towards that, or does it not?
No. So I can take, again, like I said, that's a great thing about this. I can take points off, I can put points on, I can do whatever I need to do. So let's say, hey, you come to me, you email me like the week before or a couple of days before, and you're like, hey, I got a big test on Friday. I just got to study for. I get it. Would rather you study for that big test over this one credit class. Now, there's a few assignments here down the road that we don't have much exception with. Or let's say, yes, something happened. You just are sick. You have an event you're going to, right? Like, hey, I'm out of town for a conference. I'm doing this. I get it. We can work with that. So nothing is absolute. But if you're one of those that's like constant, or listen, and lots of people have, just make sure you talk to me, and we'll get into the communication here in a second. Now, if it's over a week late, so let's say it's due on Thursday, the following Thursday you still have not submitted it, and then you turn it in, which I encourage you to turn it in, because even if you get, I'm going to tell you right now, even if you get 60 points, that may be or 60%, that may be the difference between a C and a B, because you've done all your other assignments. It might be the difference between a D and a C. Now, I will tell you this, like, I'm going to give you every opportunity to get an A in this class. You should get an A in this class. I'm happy to give out 150 A's if people deserve them. I'm not trying to give a quota of bad grades here. If it's a week late and you don't tell me, you just submit it. I'm not grading it until you at least contact me via email saying, hey, just let you know I submitted that. Tell me why it was late. Or just say, hey, I have no excuses, forgot about it, but I just let you know I submitted it. Then we'll have it. I'll grade it. If it is over 2 weeks late, I'm not going to grade it until you and I have a meeting on Zoom or in person. And this is not to meant be as a punishment. This is meant to be if your grades assignments over 2 weeks late, something's going on in your life that you're not getting these things done. I want to know how I can help. So it's for me to be able to help you, not for me to be able to punish you. I do not judge. I get it. I have 3 children. I have understand that stuff doesn't get done. I understand we forget about things, all of that kind of stuff. So talk to me. This class is notorious for people just bailing out. They just out of sight, out of mind. They don't do anything. And then they come to me about 2 weeks before class is over, freaking out, asking, can I just submit everything now? And the answer is typically no, because I literally have had people an hour before grades due submit everything. Like it just doesn't work that way. For this class to work, it's a asynchronous class in the sense that you kind of do it on your own, but it's synchronous in the sense that you have due dates. And so just like being a teacher, like you're going to want your students to turn stuff in. All right. So it, because I know, there was another question about that. Nate, did that kind of answer your question? I think it was Nate asked the chat. Hang on. Oh, let me see. No, that was Noah. Noah, sorry. Sorry, Noah. I said yes, that answered your question. Okay, good. Um, thanks. Now, AI. I love AI. See all these fun little graphics in here? That's because I had AI do that. Okay. ChatGPT is amazing. But I did not have it create this for me. If you need some help getting ideas, things like that. But if it's just like put the question in there and give me AI, give me that thing. That's a problem. And that's really where we're going to have problems going forward. I can't imagine you all dealing with this in the schools. I mean, it's going to be nightmarish and it's getting better and better. There's some really cool things it can do, like brainstorming, fact checking, grammar. You want to do that? You want to do something? You write it out and you have all your own specifics, and then you want to have AI edit it. I'm not going to stress about that. But when we read it and it's clearly AI, that's going to be a problem. The university's starting to come down harder and harder on that, and less like, you might get a shot at one kind of redemption, but that's basically cheating. So be careful about that, right? Just be careful about it. I know it's a one credit class. Just so you know, we do read every single one of your assignments, right? We don't just go through and grade everything. Well, it's great to have GTAs. We have enough hands on deck to go through. Somebody will read yours. The rest is just a bunch of kind of the normal stuff here. Um, you don't need a cite grant. No, it's a good question, Leah. If you use Grammarly, like to correct, you don't need to cite it. I'm not stressed. Nope. Just like if you're using specifics and you're using stuff details to yourself, then you're going to be okay. Um, yeah, that's kind of where we are on that. Go back to modules. Um, our schedule, just kind of go through. You can see kind of the different activities we work on. We have our course introduction, Go React, access and diversity issues, um, curation, assign. You kind of see what we're going to do. I will tell you this, that is not exactly what we're going to do. We're going to switch some things up in here. We have some different things, so that probably will change here and there. We change it as a class going. If I have a new idea that I think is kind of, but we'll get the same kind of stuff. Um, my contact information, best way to get a hold of me is email. Just let me know who you are. Like I said, there's 150 people in this class. I also have 8 sections that I teach of different courses. So if you just say, hey, I don't understand the assignment this week, I'm not going to know what class you're talking about. You could be one of 8 different classes that I teach. So make sure you put like Ed Tech Fall 2025, something like that, so I know. Um, there's my cell number. I put that out. That use that very conservatively. That's if disasters happening. You can, if you feel like you need to get a hold of me. We're not going to do group me in here. Don't worry. You kind of read that through expectations. Some of those are pretty general. And then finally, kind of like my teaching philosophy. It's really difficult. I gotta be, oh, look at that. I gotta edit that. It's really difficult for me to be click on that again. Sorry. Really difficult for me to get as student centered as I want with these courses, but I try. So I'm consistent across all my courses. I kind of teach how I teach. So I try to be as individual as I possibly can, right? So that means if you need anything, I'm at your disposal. If you need to talk, if you have a question, we will address just as as much as we would anybody else. We're going to try to learn by doing. This is a project-based class. There's no quiz, there's no test. There might be a little quiz this year, and I don't think so. But there's no tests. You're gonna learn by doing. We're gonna evaluate you by doing. Everything we're doing is real stuff. And then again, we want to have good relationships with each other when we're responding to each other. We want to be professional about it, all that good stuff. What do you expect from me? I'm going to try to make these modules as clear as can be. I've really worked over the years to try to get these things so they look good, that they're easy to read. We'll be giving as much feedback as possible. Some of the stuff doesn't really require feedback. Some of the stuff we'll give the feedback based on there'll be rubrics, and you can say like, oh, I got full points. Now I know what a rubric. Now I just look at the rubric. It tells me what we thought of it. If you get any points taken off other than late points, we will tell you why those points were taken off, and you will have an opportunity to fix it. Okay, so let's say you do an assignment, you turned it in on time, you didn't have enough quantity, you didn't really answer the question correctly, or you didn't do what we asked. We would say, hey, you need to do this, this, and this. And if you come back and fix it, then you'll get full points. We won't take any points away for you. You don't lose points for redoing it, if that makes sense. It's not like, oh, you can turn it back in for partial credit. You can actually get full credit. Um, so there's our kind of stuff. Sorry, my dog's out here barking. Um, and we use all different kinds of tools, support everything, anything you need. It's on there. Okay. We'll get down to peer reviews later on. We're not really at that point yet. So what are you going to do this week? Start here page. Number one is that's where you want to go each week. Okay, come to that start here page, kind of give you a bit of everything. Um, what's going on, how to start each week. This first one's a little bit more detailed, but it tells you what is going on, what's due, when it's due. All due assignments are due on Thursdays. If there's any reply to peers, that's due on Sundays. Okay. Big thing here, don't reply till after the deadline. So if you turn yours in on Wednesday and you're trying to do your replies and you're getting mad that you don't have anybody to reply to, that's because it wasn't due at that point. And your replies will put you in groups, and you only will only have the most you would ever have to reply to would be two different people. Okay. Kind of going on there. So the first thing you're going to do, and a lot of you have already done it, I've seen, is you're going to make a pick collage. Now, this is one of those things that we're going to use it intentionally. This is something I would think would be a lot of fun to have in class. This is something that I think you guys could do. So, some of these things we're going to be teaching you is what are ways that you could use this in your class? And this is the perfect example of something you could do even with elementary kids. My dog's trying to eat some of my food. Um, so you are going to use Piccolage or a similar app. Some of you may have had Piccolage. Some of you have ever heard of it. Um, and then you're going to pick at least three descriptive words about yourself. Could be anything. Add pictures, and you can do more than that. Somewhere in your collage, kind of say where you're from, a little bit about you. And so, like, this is an example of one I did. I don't have all that information, but that's my family. These are my dogs, some friends. That's just a Christmas. That's us having fun. Um, so things like that. And then so you'll make it, and you will not upload this on Canvas. You'll upload it here, and you can see some of your fellow students. So it's kind of fun to go around and see what everybody has. And if yours is on there, don't be embarrassed. I think they look great so far. So kind of fun to read and to see what everybody's are. There'll be about 150 of those on there that you can look at. Okay, so it's not done on Canvas. That's due tomorrow night by 11:59. So if you can get that done. The next thing you're going to do, and I think I have this set for Thursday, is that we're going to do a tech assessment. So I want to know a little bit about your current level of using tech and what you use it for. Okay, that can dictate how we do some of the class stuff and also give me a pretty good background on my expectations. So how do you use technology in your life? That's question one. And there's little examples here. And you're going to be writing this. Don't just say, don't put, how do I use technology in my life? And then just go social media, cool, you know, email. Actually write a little bit how you use it. What knowledge do you currently have about education tools? Like, what do you know? And then on the scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being extremely comfortable, how comfortable do you feel, incorporating technology into a lesson, and explain why. And then if there's something you think about, like, what do I want to learn in this class? Like, what would you think? About 350 words. We're not going to count those words unless you just have it's like 5 words per answer. You need to be close to 350 words. So far, they've looked good. I'll show you the rubric, good example on the rubric on this. So the rubric is kind of looking at critical thinking, quantity. So that's like roughly the 350 words, and then relevance. Is it relevant to what we're talking about? Is it engaging? And that's a pretty generic one for this, but that's what we're looking for. Kind of a generic, kind of like we use that for just our basic discussion stuff. So that's a good example to look at. I'm going to show you this one more time. Is if I give you 20 points and I don't comment, you'll go, okay, so what did he think of mine? Okay, I got 20 points. So that means They think I demonstrate a high level of critical thinking and analysis. It's thorough and insightful and has the arguments, which is not, you're not arguing too much, but you're just talking. And then obviously the expect you've done everything. And then finally it's like it's relevant and engaging, addresses the discussion topic, insightful and thought-provoking points. Okay. Um, and again, if for some reason that is less than what we expect, we will give you the point. We'll give you points based on the rubric, and then we will tell you what you can do to fix it. The Zoom code word here, we're going to tell you right now. The answer is intentional. The word intentional. So you're going to go in here, you're going to preview, and you're going to write here the word intentional. I believe it's capitalized. Okay. You can do it now, you can do it later. But please do that. It's worth 20 points, like a whole assignment. So that is where we are this week, and that's all you have to do this week. Next week, pretty simple week. You're going to so we kind of have this. The first couple of weeks, we're kind of getting to know you. The pick that the Padlet, the pick collage, and then we do the self-assessment. This week we'll be it's our first time to practice with Go React. I told you a little bit that it's what we use for distance supervision. So we'll practice with it because you will be using it a lot. You'll go in there and I will show you in my little video here all about how to make it. Again, that'll be Thursday night. There's no replies on that. So all you got to do is make a 2 to 3 minute video. That's all you got next week. So some of this not. Into week 3, we start getting into access and diversity issues, talking about access and diversity in educational technology, meaning, yeah, we may all have a computer, but are we all being able to use it the same way? Does everybody have the same internet capacity? Does everybody have the same support at home? Okay, I'll get you in 2 seconds. We're gonna have time for questions here in a minute. So yeah, so you just kind of see, I will not publish this stuff. I only publish it as it goes, just because I don't want to get overwhelmed. And I don't want you to start looking ahead too much. So by Friday, I will publish this. We'll have the start here page and the home page, and these assignments will be ready to go. So you literally could get it done if you wanted to, typically but you don't have to. I know most of us will wait till 11 o'clock on Thursday to get it done, at least if any kind of past experience. Um, So that is basically how the course works. Okay, so let's get some questions here. Um, okay with you eating on Zoom? Yes. Um, we do not meet weekly. We do not meet weekly. Um, just I've done that before where I used to do a weekly Zoom meeting, and I really can't make it mandatory. Um, because I don't have like a time scheduled for this. And what happens is I get 2 people show up. So I don't make it mandatory. So I will say this though on our Zoom meetings. One is um, I will put out most weeks, not every week, but most weeks I'll put out a video. It's not going to be a long video. Um, just a 5 to 10 minute max video about the upcoming week. And typically, if I make a video, it's because I want to give some opinions or I want to teach you something specific, like the Go React. I'll give you a video on how to use Go React on Canvas. And then, for example, when we talk about access and diversity issues, I will I'll talk to you about my thoughts on it, if that makes sense. I'll do some teaching, some lecturing, not very long, try to make it engaging. They kind of say like 10 minutes is about max. 15 minutes is the max you can do on that stuff. I'll try to always keep mine less. There might be certain things that we go a little longer just if I need to get you more information. When I do make those videos, just so you know, you are responsible for anything I send out. So if I send out a 5 to 10 minute video, you need to watch that video. I'm not going to do quizzes each week for the stuff, but I may say there's no assignment due this week and don't do this assignment, if that makes sense. And it's a real easy way for me to make sure to see who's watching the video and who's not, because the people who submit the assignment, I know they didn't watch the video. Not saying that's going to happen, but it has happened in the past. But so yes, you just want to watch it. Like I said, I won't make it fast. You can watch it on double speed. I don't, sound fast and like a high, kind of a chipmunk voice. So if you wanted to do that, you could do that. But you are responsible for all information. So if I change something up or something like that, make sure you're watching for that. Um, yeah, so we won't meet every week. There will be a meeting halfway through when we get one of the things we'll get into doing peer evaluations. We'll do a few peer evaluations where you actually evaluate your two other people, and as we'll start when we start doing presentation. We'll do a presentation activity, and I'll talk way more about that later. But I'll basically do a live Zoom, and you're welcome to come on to it. We'd love to have as many people because it's a good time for you to ask questions. Maybe you're just midway through the semester and you have some questions. Maybe you have some questions about the presentation we're going to do or about how I'm going to do the peer review. And so all of those kind of things, we'll do a live Zoom, and everybody who wants to come on can be on it. We'll pick a night and I'll pick a time. I will also record that meeting. So if you're not on it live, you would be able to watch the recording. That's actually a little bit longer one. So we do have a live one. And then I will say this also is I'm willing to meet with you anytime. Not anytime, but like I'm willing to, if you want to meet, we'll find a time to meet. Again, whether it be face to face, whether it be on Zoom, we could even do a phone call if you needed. Usually Zoom or face to face is the best. Um, but so yeah, if you have any questions or anything like, I'm just not getting this. I mean, I had one person, I mean, there's an online class this summer. This class on this summer, I met with a person 3 times face to face to help him out because he was just struggling with some of the tech stuff. So I get it. In this class, we have people of all types. We have people that are full on techies that have been doing this since they're kids. We have people that are like, I can't believe I'm taking a tech class. I know nothing about technology. I can look at my email. That's it. Um, all ages. We have, like I said, I was just telling the last class, maybe I don't think I told this class, but like, with 150 people, you come with 150 different things to me. Again, what your situation is. So what's your, life situation, whatever, all your different things. So everybody's very different on here. So I don't hold like we don't when we grade, we don't sit there and say, okay, this is the best submission, and everybody else is based off them. We're going to base this off the rubric. You do what it says in the rubric, you're going to get an A. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Nothing? Okay. Well, get your stuff done this week. Um, like I said, guys, like I am 100% on this idea of communication and being proactive about it. Do not spend all semester stressing out because you're not getting stuff done. If you feel you're falling behind a little bit, reach out to me. I promise I will do whatever I can to make it work with you. Okay. I will say I will not be judgmental. I'm not going to have you come in so I can chew you out. Okay, we're all adults in this situation. I'm not here to babysit you. So I'm very happy to help you. So don't feel like I'm going to come in here. We're past the point. I'm not going to give you, not putting you in detention or anything, keeping you after class. Just come to me and I promise we'll make it work no matter what the situation is. All right. Be proactive about it. Okay. So that is it. I'm going to stay on. We're going to end class. I'm going to stop the recording.